Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie.
One of the most important things also is to make sure you run each campaign for a minimum of 3 months, and I would say a maximum of 9 months. There's so many people that will go door knocking for a week and they don't get a deal and they're like, oh, this didn't work, I'm terrible at this, da da da. No, that's not how that works. You need to give your campaign time to be successful, and then you also need to give yourself time to learn along the way and make the necessary tweaks, right? So none of my campaigns are less than 3 months. I usually go anywhere from 6 to 9 months on my campaigns. Now I have at the month mark, I will evaluate it and see how it's going and make the necessary tweaks. And I'll do that again, every month or whatever, every 3 months, if it's going well. So many people give up after a week, 2 weeks, a month. And that's just not enough time to give your campaign, time to succeed. It's just not. So make sure you track the campaigns. We're going to talk a little bit about setting yourself up for success, getting organized, and then make the necessary adjustments along the way, right? And then the biggest one at the bottom, do not stop until you get what you want. That's where you take the failure off the table and you only focus on what's the next action I can take in order to make this marketing campaign better. Okay, step 6, which is probably one of the most important steps in your campaign other than getting your mind right. That's obviously number 1. This one, follow up. Again and again and again and again and again and again, because that is where your deal flow is going to come. It's pretty unlikely that, I've gotten contracts on the spot, but the likelihood of those closing has not been very good. So you want to be sure to be persistent and follow up. Be confident when you're talking to these people, even if you feel like I don't even know what they're talking about. Well, guess what? You have my email right there. You can reach out to me and you go, Misty, I need help with this lead. I don't know what this person is talking about. And you have this whole group, right? That can help with that. So be confident, because if you show any sign of, oh, I don't really know what they're saying and crap, like they're not going to trust you. They're going to go, well, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or this girl doesn't know what she's talking about, right? So just be confident no matter what. You have the answers, maybe not right then and there, but you have them in the network around you. Super important to build rapport. And I do a lot of that in the follow-up. If they have a dog, maybe let's talk about the dog. Maybe you see a picture of grandkids on the mantle if you're at a house or something like that. Build rapport, understand what their needs are, understand what their pain points are, and try to solve the problems that they're having. And that's really how you build rapport. I've had people choose me over other investors when I was offering less monetarily than the other investors were, because of the rapport that I built. They trusted me, right? So they were willing to take a little bit less and go with me because they trusted me over the person who was supposedly going to give them more money.
Nice.
So rapport building is extremely, extremely important. Now, to do that, you have to have a ton of patience. Some deals may take days, months, years. We've been working some deals for years and they finally pan out, or maybe they don't, but have the patience, be calm. Also, some sellers may be difficult. There's a lot of difficult sellers out there. They think their house is worth $1 bazillion. They don't understand that they're about to lose their house to auction and they've got it figured out and they're just going to stay there. Whatever the reason is, just have patience with them, because selling a home is a very big decision, right? So have the patience with them and build a rapport, and I promise that you will get somewhere very quickly with them. Okay, so get organized. So these are some of the systems that I was talking about. You don't have to have all these things figured out in the beginning. I definitely didn't. I actually just recently in the last year have started putting my systems like properly in order. What's called a customer relationship management system is CRM. What I use is Podio. And it's wonderful. And you have a free version if you want to. I have multiple joint venture partnerships with other wholesalers, and they're all plugged into my Podio system. So it's all organized where all the leads are with if I got leads with Joe, they're all in one workspace, right? So that really helps me stay focused. And then you can tie your marketing campaigns to that as well. So then you can track those. Autoresponders, whether it's text, whether it's emails, voicemail drops, those sorts of things, make sure you have those. so that when you're making all your cold calls and somebody doesn't answer, at least they're getting a follow-up text or a follow-up voicemail, right, with your information. Another option is to build a team. Now, I wouldn't do this in the very beginning because you don't probably know enough to really train and build your team effectively. But this is something I'm doing, right? I'm almost 4 years in. I'm trying to build a team of cold callers. I'm hiring my first VA this month. I'm very, very excited about it. And yeah, it's huge. Like, I'm so pumped. I need help. And so I feel confident to train her or him and, you know, have that VA make the cold calls for me. I also want to build a door knocking team because I feel like everything that I learned when I door knocked, I want to share that with others. And I think it'd be really fun. And I'm just a team person. That's why I love real estate, because we partner with people and it's just so much fun. So those are some things that you can do to help yourself get better organized. And then give your marketing campaigns time to work, like we talked about. Minimum of 3 months, maximum of 9 months, so that you and your campaigns can grow and learn along the way. And then obviously never give up, right? Success truly is in the follow-up. And I think they say it takes like somewhere between 6 to 9 touches with a seller to actually get like a contract. And people give up usually around, I want to say it's touch 3, if I remember that correctly. Yeah. So you're, you know, close, like you're not that far off. 3 more calls that you could have made could have gotten you a contract that you then, you know, gave up on, right? So keep that in mind. It's not you call, pick up the phone and it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll sell you my house. Cool. Send over the contract. Like, that happens, but not all the time. So be prepared to do the follow-up, and also be prepared to accept the calls. Like when you launch your campaigns, I know investors that spend all this money on beautiful campaigns and they launched whatever it was, direct mail or whatever, you know, and then they weren't ready to take the calls. Their phone started going and they're like, oh crap, I don't know what to say. And all those leads just went to waste. And I'm like, no. So be ready. And actually, don't be ready. Just pick up the phone. Just answer the phone. You know way more than you're giving yourself credit for. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. You know more than these people that are calling you. And if you don't, you have an amazing network that can help you. Gather whatever info you can. Let them know you're going to call them back. You know, it's really not, we blow it up into something that it does not need to be. 100%. And I'm totally guilty of doing it. Like, I would psych myself out like crazy when I was door knocking and cold calling. And then I finally was like, get over yourself, Misty. Like, this is silly. You're never going to learn. You're never going to grow this business if you're terrified to, you know, call somebody or knock on a door.
Yeah. So we've got a few questions here. David says, how did you select what changes you needed to make after that 5,000 letters?
Well, that particular one, we had already done direct mail in Austin and it didn't work. And so we were a little apprehensive to do it. Now, we'd never sent 5,000 at once. So we were like pumped. We're like, oh, this is going to work, you know? And then what we started to look at was, we weren't sure if these, you know, a lot of these people were not staying in their homes, right? But they were going to their homes to get their mail, to check the status, all of that. And so we weren't really sure, like, was it actually reaching their homes? Were they not checking their mail? But honestly, after that, that's where we just decided direct mail was just not something we wanted to pursue anymore. And so we just completely stopped. And that's when I started door knocking. My first door knocking experience was door knocking flooded houses. It wasn't, well, actually I take that back. I door knocked pre-foreclosure properties in Austin, but it was one of those, like, I door knocked, 10 and was like, this doesn't work, and silly. And then I came here and did it, and I did it for 9 months straight and became really, really good at it. So we just decided not to do direct mail. And that's where I put I'm like, I'm better in front of people anyways, or on the phone. So let's try that. So it's okay to actually say no more to a marketing campaign, but it's not okay to go no more and then not have a next plan of attack. That's really, you need to have another action plan ready to deploy. If you're going to say no more to one marketing plan, you need to have the second one ready to go.
All right. We have another one here. It's Varun Katarpal, I believe. I may be saying this wrong. And says, Misty, I've been doing this for 2 years. I relate to everything you were saying. Thank you for sharing this. I got some much needed support today. My name is Varun Katarpal, and yes, there are deals coming in for us to partner on. But funny, for my sellers, I am Mark. They can't seem to get my name in the first go. Is it bad to change your name?
No, I have people that I work with, partners that do that as well. If their name is a little bit difficult to pronounce or any of that, it's really actually very normal. And I'm not sure where you are located, but obviously here in Houston, we have a very, very diverse community here. So I actually see that a lot, a lot, a lot. People just changing their names and making it just a little bit easier to say over the phone. When you introduce yourself to people, it's extremely common. So I don't think that's strange at all.
And then Elizabeth Luna says, which autoresponders have you had the most success with?
Hey, Elizabeth. Gosh, autoresponders. I really haven't had a lot of success with autoresponders. We've done text campaigns. They've not been great. I do know people that have done text campaigns and they've done amazing. So, my goal is obviously when I was door knocking is to get people to open the door. My autoresponder that I used there was a door hanger. And we did get a lot of calls on our door hanger. So that to me is an autoresponder because you're leaving something for them. So we did get a lot of those. And now I have a voicemail drop. I don't get a lot of calls from it, but I am getting a lot of answers. I don't know if it's because people are home because of the COVID thing or whatever, but I'm getting a lot of people answering the phone, which is even better because then I can just start talking to them right away. But a lot of people, depending on the situation, will actually like to prefer to text because if they're talking about a pre-foreclosure or something uncomfortable, they may not feel comfortable having a phone conversation. So I always follow up with a voicemail and a text. I'm getting a lot of people answering, so I haven't really had to put a lot of emphasis on my autoresponders. So I don't have a great answer for that question, unfortunately. But I have heard people have a lot of success with texting campaigns.
Cool. Varun says he is in Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Dallas is pretty diverse too. I think any big city that you're in, I think that's going to be pretty common that people may tweak their name a little bit. And I'm not sure if you're worried about then on the contract, if it's going to look differently, or
I didn't think of
that. I don't, it kind of depends on there. I have a partner that I work with. His name is Eichel, and his last name is Seymour, and he goes by Seymour with sellers that we talk to because it's just easier. It took me a while to pronounce his name correctly, but I think if you explain that to them, this is because I feel like it's very common these days, just with how diverse all of our cities are and communities are, that people will kind of do a little bit of a name change to make it a little easier for people to pronounce or whatever. So I wouldn't worry too much about it is basically what I'm getting at. So I just wanted to touch on some other avenues to find deals because, your way is not the only way. Like we talked about, you want to be open to other opportunities, never say never. Also, with the current situation, the way that it is with COVID-19 and all of that, it's really important to be able to adapt and to change and tweak your business so that your business doesn't go under, right? One of the things, I'll be real honest, my business is pre-foreclosures, and when all this COVID-19 stuff started happening, the foreclosure auctions were postponed. And it freaked me out because I know that pre-foreclosure sellers or homeowners don't necessarily always want to be sellers until they have to be. And if there's not an auction date knocking at their door, they don't really take action. And I was basically like, well, what am I going to do? Nobody's going to want to sell. And my whole business is going to go under. I'm not going to make any money. We don't know how long this is going on. I mean, I went in a full blown tailspin, and thank God for my life coach who reamed me back in and helped me with that. But I started looking at other lists. And, okay, I can do other lists or I can do this or whatever. And actually ended up taking the last few months to get my business in order, to scale it. And that's why now I am able to bring on a VA, and I'm able to successfully joint venture. Like I have systems in place where I know exactly what properties I'm joint venturing with others. So I actually took the time to just kind of restructure my own business and get it ready to scale. So that's why I put adapt on there, because it's really important that things are going to change, right? It's just the way the world is. And you have to be able to adapt and change with it. And then in order to do that, you always need to educate yourself. So stay on top of, what's going on. I've noticed I can't be on every webinar to learn everything because then I won't get anything done. So I'm really trying to just hone in and focus on, okay, my marketing campaign is cold calling and pre-foreclosures right now. So if there's webinars that pertain to that, okay, let's jump on that, right? But if the notes, learning about note buying and whatever, that's going to have to wait. But I'm still open to it. But yeah, I think it's just really important. So those are just a few other ones. Obviously, talking to friends and family is always great because you never know who in your friends and family circle might want to sell or, might be facing pre-foreclosure and is too scared to talk to anybody about it. I would say auctions, if you're going to go that route, be careful because some people buy properties at auctions and don't really understand what they're buying and they don't have clean title, and then you got to deal with liens and it's then maybe not a deal. So as a new investor, I would say maybe steer clear of auctions, but it's definitely a route to go at some point if that's something you want to consider, but just kind of educate yourself before you go down that road. So those are just some other avenues to go down.
David's question too. He said, could you repeat the process you use when you call a homeowner who doesn't answer? You said something about texting them, and then he followed it up with, have you ever tried a texting campaign?
Right. So if a homeowner doesn't answer, I use what's called Mojo Dialer, and I have a pre-recorded voicemail that's in it, and it will drop the voicemail. So and then it'll just basically drop the voicemail, and then it starts calling the next phone number. So it's just a pre-recorded voicemail that's just like, hey, this is Misty, give me a call, or whatever. And then I'll follow it up with a text message as well. Hey, it's Misty, if you give me a call or shoot me a text when you can, right? And that's really what I do. And sometimes I get a response and sometimes I don't. I actually get a lot more calls back just like right away. Like they probably didn't even listen to the voicemail. They're just like, oh, I missed a call. Who is this? So that's kind of the process. And I did do a texting campaign actually for the flood houses. And I did actually get quite a few responses there, but we didn't really pursue that. Basically, we started with flood houses and then we were brought all these opportunities for new construction, and that's really what we wanted to do. So we kind of stopped the flood house thing and ventured into new construction. So we didn't do a ton of marketing in that realm, but that's really the only main texting campaign I've ever done. My texts now are like follow-up texts, not necessarily a campaign, where I know people that do strictly like they don't cold call, they just go straight to texting. And so that's something to do, especially when nowadays people, they don't like to be on the phone. They like to text. So it's definitely something.
A couple of comments. Sharon just wanted to say she just got Podio and started using it and is loving it. And then David just wanted to say thank you.
Awesome. Yes.
I've never heard of Mojo Dialer, but that sounds like a pretty awesome thing.
Yeah, you can set up like a one-line dialer, which is what I have. And then you can move to a 3-line dialer. So it'll actually dial 3 like phone numbers at the same time, and whoever picks up first, that's what it pushes you to. I'm just learning the 1-line dialer first. I'm taking baby steps on that, but it's really been awesome because I don't have to dial anything. Like with CallRail before, I had to like literally dial the phone number every time. With Mojo Dialer, I import a list and it pops. Look at me giving away all my secrets. I love it. I'm like, there is so much real estate out there for everybody. I love it. So secrets, here you go. But yeah, you import a list into it, and then you basically will just start calling that list. And it uses my CallRail number, so it's not my personal number, and it records the calls too, so you can go back and listen to them. So it'll just start dialing. If somebody doesn't answer, it dials the next one, so you can do, I want to say it's like 60 or 80 calls in an hour or something like that. I mean, yeah. And the 3 dialer one, I think you can make like 120 calls in an hour. It's crazy. So if you're cold calling, you should definitely have some sort of, there's other tools out there too, same thing, similar. But if you don't have something like that and you're just doing this, no, it's going to take you forever because it's a volume thing. All of these marketing campaigns is a volume thing. I try to make at least 100 calls a day. It's all about volume. And before it was really difficult. I was like, God, I can only make like 20 calls a day. And that's just not going to get me where I need to be in my marketing campaigns. It's all volume. That's why direct mail, if you're going to do it, send a bunch. Don't just send 10 letters or 100 letters. Send 1,000, bandit signs. Don't just put out 2 or 3, put out, 100, whatever. So it's a volume game in all of this. But only do what you can afford. Don't go crazy and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on marketing campaigns that you can't afford. So, okay, steps 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Never give up, right? This is where I feel like all of our marketing campaigns have potential for failure, is that we give up. So make the small efforts, be patient with the process, focus on the path, not the destination. I promise you, if you do this, you will get there. It may not be the journey that you thought you were going to take, but it'll probably be a better journey than you even expected. And that's been my journey. And yes, it's been a crazy one and a frustrating one, but it's also been absolutely amazing. It really has. And you know, you think you see people where they just show all the success, like this iceberg, right? And nobody understands what we go through as entrepreneurs. And this is not a business for the weak. I mean, there is a reason that not everybody is a successful multi-million-dollar real estate investor. If it was that easy, everybody would be. This is hard, and it tests you in ways never even thought possible, but it's also so incredible, and I literally wouldn't change a thing. Even all the failures and all the mess ups and all the whatever, I wouldn't change any of it, to be honest, because it's got me to where I need to be. Now I have a very clear focus and path, and that I'm so excited about. And I've met amazing people along the way. I have amazing partnerships. I've helped so many families stop foreclosures. I've helped I've helped new investors start their businesses. It's just an incredible, thing to be a part of and journey to be on. So just don't give up. Like, if you want this, if you truly want this, don't ever give up, because it's possible. It really is, 100%.
David says, that's a great graphic of the iceberg. Are you selling it?
Right? I mean, it's so true. It's just like, oh my gosh, I love it. Like, it's so true. So true. Perfect. All right. Is there any other questions? And then oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I kind of talked a little bit about brought it up a couple times. So I have a life coach now, and she's amazing. I've been working with her for about 6 months, and she focuses on women in real estate. And she has been a complete game changer to my business. And so we have decided to team up to offer, we're going to be offering a free webinar on July 16th from 4 to 5. And we're going to actually talk openly and honestly about why people aren't taking action in their real estate investing businesses, and then obviously how to make the necessary changes. I am so excited about this opportunity, and we're going to be putting together a program and everything to really not only address what's going on, but then, here is some call to action. Here is a game plan and some tools and resources to get you out of the rut and get you going. And so it's going to be extremely exclusive. It's only going to have 10 slots after July 16th. So you better log on July 16th if you want to be part of this program and sign up. But it's just, I have just seen myself, like, I'm walking, talking proof of what she has helped me with. And we just thought, well, let's join forces and let's share this with other women in real estate. And so I just wanted to kind of, share that with you guys. If that's something of interest, definitely friend me on Facebook if you haven't already. Become part of the Houston WREIA. We're going to be posting there about the webinar, and, feel free to reach out to me. Obviously, I have my email on every slide, so I'm not worried. I want people to reach out. But I really feel so fortunate to have these platforms to speak about these things and to hopefully help people along in their real estate investing journey. Because I know people that have done the same for me, and it's amazing. And it's one of my passions. Like, I love helping people. It's my why.
And I think it's so important too, just when people are going through a hard spot, they always think they're the only person that's ever gone through it.
Yep.
And so I work really hard to let people know I'm kind of like an open book.
You are. I love that. I love
that.
And I think other people do too. And that's how people can relate, is that you go, oh my gosh, they're real. Like, they're real. They're feeling what I'm feeling. I'm not crazy. I'm not losing my mind. Like, it's okay. And I think people need more of that, especially these days. Like,
I just hate to see the hurt. And so I just open it up and put it out there so that people don't have to feel alone. Because that hurts so bad to feel like you're the only person that's ever gone through this crap.
It does. Absolutely. No, I love the platform that you've created and the honesty behind it. And I love being a part of it. So thank you so much.
I've been fortunate enough to actually meet Misty and be at one of her alliance meetings, and the venue's awesome.
It's a beautiful venue, that's for sure.
Even if it has to be virtual right now, it will eventually be back.
I know. It's like, especially I'm going crazy because I love people. So I'm just like, what is happening? I need to be around people.
It's extroverts right now. It's really hard for us extroverts.
Really hard, but we're getting through. We got these sorts of platforms, so it's helping. So that's good.
So, and I put several links out. I actually found a Bigger Pockets forum for how to get a list of houses in probate.
Cool.
I put that on there, and I put some of the other like Trello and Podio. I try to get all the names and everything.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. That's great. And that's kind of what my last slide is basically just a thank you for allowing me to be part of your real estate journey. And, I try to think every day of what I'm grateful for. And, today I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak and to share my journey, and hopefully people got some great tips and tricks and things that can help build their marketing campaigns, and not only build them, but launch them successfully and keep them going, because that's, it's kind of easy to pick a marketing campaign. The tough part is launching it and executing and keeping going, basically. That's kind of the tough one.